Well, hey there, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day or night, and welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm Deluxe. All right, let's do another freaking Transformer review because I love some freaking Transformers. All right, today we're going to do a versus. I used to do these a lot. I still like doing them. They're pretty fun. I just like most of my collections put up right now, so if I find two different companies making something, I like to do a versus. And today we're going to be doing a Magic Square versus Newage Blaster. Now, I know it's not really going to be a versus. It's going to be mainly comparison because this one is one of Magic Square's early releases, and they've done, gotten a lot better since then. But and this one just came out recently, so I thought I'd do a little comparison. Some options out there, all the stuff. This is, like I said, Magic Square Newage. I don't have the Mech Fans Toys one. That was a knockoff of this one, kind of a bigger one. Unfortunately, I don't have that one, or I would throw it in there, but. I just want to do these two and everything. Like I said, it's just a little comparison, just to give you options out there what you have for Legend scale for Blaster. So yeah, first hit me up some likes, shares, prayers, and Care Bears. Hit that sub button for me if you don't mind. It all helps out the channel. And yeah, we're going to do a little comparison versus with the Magic Square and Newage Blaster. So yeah, let's get right to it. All right, so I'm going to show what they both come with. So this side's going to be Magic Square. They call him Sterile Master right here, and then this is Louis. This is for the Newage side and everything. So we'll start off with Magic Square. Now, unfortunately, I do have the ram horn for that came with him, but I've misplaced them. I put them with another one or something like that. I don't know where I put it. But I'm going to put a little picture here. Let me put a little picture next to him and just show you the differences real quick and everything. So there you go. In tape mode, like I said, here is Stereo Master. Nice little card, little bio card, and nice thick stock and everything. Got the tech specs. Pretty cool. It does come with instructions, some old instructions. I'll show you. Wow. And there is ram horn in his alt mode real quick. All right. And he comes with his blaster. It's a gray plastic with some gunmetal silver, which is cool. I'll do a little comparisons with the Newage one. It's a little longer, a little skinnier and everything. And this one does have some paint. That's weird. Usually Newage has paint. But there you go. That's him, with the Magic Square. So like I said, you get two tapes with Newage. You get ram horn and rewind. And he gets it with the guns. 2 gold guns, nicely painted. You get the speakers, gold plastic. You get a couple hands. You get the pointing finger, and you get the little relaxed hand with the hinge and everything, and also instructions with Louis or their sound blaster, not sound blaster. Blaster, Jeebus. But yeah, there you go. That is what they both come with, and little comparisons and everything. Alrighty, and here is Blaster in his alt mode, or a little tape deck mode. As you can tell, you can see the head right through there, just peekabooing everything. And when you move this down, you can also see the back of the head right there. But anyways, you can, put the tapes in, there's ram horn. I tried this earlier. You can't fit this one in here. It's a little too small. The tape's a little too big. It almost fits, but I mean, you can leave it right there if you want to. I wish I had my ram horn out, but I don't know where he's at the moment. But all right. So let's get those out of there. Okay, and here they are together. So, like always, with Newage, they are going to have, better paint. Magic Square barely has any paint usually. You got this, this kind of soft plastic, kind of the gummy plastic they used to use, or they still use it now, but they gotten better over the years and everything. Like I said, this has been 5 or 6 years since this came out. But it does have the, I put the little Autobot sticker on there and everything. So like I said, it's got the nice red paint, the gray and everything. That's pretty cool. All right. On the backs, yeah, you can see the hands and the arms right there just sticking out in, broad daylight. And Newage did better by, concealing those, everything. But like I said, Magic Square, this was one of their earlier, designs. I'm sure if they made another one, it'd probably be a lot better in the back. But there you go. He does have a little paint. You got the little silver and the red right here. A little red paint right there. That's about it. So very nice. But yeah, there you go. There is Blaster from Newage and Magic Square Blaster and their Legend scale. And there's their, their alt modes and everything. So pretty cool. All right, real quick, there is wheelie. Nothing's really going to scale with these like normal, you know, like sound wave and all that stuff, shock wave, all that stuff. There's Magic Square Prowl. And here is Newage Toxitron. And here is Red Alert from Siege. And last but not least, we have Dustbuster Jazz. And there's some scale for you. All right, so I'm back for transformation, easy transformations. I've shown both of them and everything. I even went back and looked at my old Magic Square review, man. It was wild, man. Really wild, man. I've come a long way. But anyways, if you want to go check it out, definitely be cool. So Ram Horn, I'm going to do a little comparison. Like I said, I'm going to put a picture. Let me put them back there. I'll put a picture of Magic Square next to them. Like I said, Newage comes with the, rewind. Unfortunately, they did not come with any of the other ones for Magic Square. But, there's the difference between Ram Horn. All right, and here is Blaster from Magic Square Newage, and this is, different. Most of the time Newage is smaller than the Magic Square ones, but this one, like I said, this is an earlier, version of them, but man, Newage is towering over this one, over Magic Square. But here they are together. Both of them had decent head sculpts. I like the, the white and everything, nicely painted. The blue eyes are painted. Newage has metallic blue. This one just has like a matte blue and everything like that. You got more of a gold, this is kind of yellowish, for the, tape deck, and that's kind of more of a gold and everything. Like I said, got the sticker. Like I said, all this is painted, the red and gray. Now, you do got some paint throughout. You got some red right here, a little gray, a little silver right here, and everything. That's pretty cool. On the sides, like I said. Now, they always didn't like these. These don't tab in that well, and plus they come up all the way up to his knees and everything. But, like I said, I think if they did another design of Blaster, I think they could make it a lot better. And then on the back, you do got some paint. You got some silver, some gray back here, some more gray and silver. But they clean up both pretty good. Very nicely done. All right, we'll go over articulation real quick. All right, with Magic Square, you can look down, not much. You look all the way up because it's on a ball peg. You got the swivel. And that's about it. You got this little part right here. That's just because of transformation and everything. All right. So you got ball peg right here, all the way up to there, all the way around. You have a more than 90 degrees for the elbow bend, bicep swivel, and the hand do swivel as well on like a little mushroom peg. That's pretty cool. You do have a waist swivel, and you do have an ab crunch like that. The little thing comes out there like that, but you do have an ab crunch. These little back flaps do lift up. You can Van Dam all day, every day. You kick up, kick back, a little wiggle waggle there, but you got a knee swivel. 90 degrees for the knee bend. You got a toe tilt down, and you got a nice rocker as well. Got a little face down there with a little two eyes and nose. So there you go. And he will hold his weapon either hand just fine. So that's good. All right. Then we got Newage. All right. You look down, not much. Up all the way, once again on a ball peg. Very nice. Swivel all the way. Very nice. Up to there, a little more than 90 degrees. All the way around. You got that good. Nice elbow bend. Great paint, as always. Bicep swivel. Swivel of the hand. Waist swivel. Nice ab crunch. A whole lot of ab crunch right there. And I like that you can look up. Doesn't defeat the purpose. Van Dam all day, every day. Kick up, kick back. Thigh swivel. More than 90 degrees for the knee bend. Toe tilt up for this one. And you got a nice rocker. Once again, looks like you got a face down there. So very nice. And you can hold the hand or the weapon either hand. And like I said, he does have a couple hand options with the pointing fingers. And you can also just switch these out. You can have the speakers, which is cool. You have other hands you can switch out. So, well, I thought you could. Golly. There we go. Golly. But yeah, you can switch out the hands and everything. So there you go. All right, let's put these two together again with their weapons. And that's awesome. All right, so there you go. There's articulation and sculpt work of the bot mode for Magic Square Newage Blaster. All right, so there's Magic Square Ultra Magnus, Optimus Prime, and Mirage. And there's Newage Megatron, Optimus Prime, Mirage, and Bumblebee. And Dr. Woo Woo Woo, Ultra Magnus, Ramjet, Cosmos. Then we got Lucky Cat Bumblebee. We got one of Iron Factory Seekers. We got Core Class Wheelie. And then we got Tits McGee Redgar. And there's some scale for you. And Crapagon Crappy Tool Paper, AAA Battery, Carmex, Care Bears, Kicker, and Squeaks. More scale. Well, hey there, everybody. If you made it this far, as always, I freaking appreciate that. All right, final thoughts on this little versus. Basically a comparison, not really a versus because like I normally do. Like I said, this one, the Magic Square one's been out so long. I think that's like 5 or 6 years. And this one just came out. This one definitely wins, if you're doing a versus. But I just want to do a little comparison, to, show you which ones are out there. Like I said, I don't have the McFans Toys one. It's a bigger version of this one. He probably would scale better with this one. Like I said, this one's a whole lot bigger than the Magic Square one. And I didn't have the ram horn that he came with, unfortunately, but I did show you some pictures and everything. And, the Newage, definitely looks better. And then he also came with a rewind and everything. But, overall, they're pretty good. I mean, I remember, like I said, this was a good one back in the day. 5 or 6 years ago, I really liked him. But now, Newage has really done a whole lot better job in him, with materials and everything and the paint and just that and everything. So, yeah, I just want to give you a little, a couple options and, to, show you what's out there for the, blaster and everything. So I hope you like that. Hit me up on likes, shares, prayers, and Care Bears. Hit that sub button for me if you don't mind. Hit me up some comments. Tell me which one you prefer. Do you have the Magic Square one still, or do you you get the Newage one and everything, all that good stuff. So I guess I'll see you in the next Transformer review. And as always, be good to yourself, man. Help freaking Transformers, and good night, folks. Man, love me some Legends. I'm just glad there's so many options out there, for choices and everything. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think Iron Factory has one too as well. One of their early releases for Blaster. I have him, I think. I have to go back and check. I don't remember if I do or not, but he's put up somewhere, so I couldn't do really any comparison with him either. So, anyways, he's kind of stylized as, just like most Iron Factory stuff is. But which one do you like? You like the Newage? You like the Magic Square one? Yeah, good night, folks.